Here we are again. This is Mike Lodge, the business advisor. So this morning I wake up and I turn on Twitter. Sometimes I wonder if I should even turn on Twitter, but I do because there's a lot of people there that give good information on business, and I look at it every single day to see what the dollar's doing, to see what the markets are doing, to see what the economy is doing. And I use it for that purpose. But then I get involved, I get off track, and I get involved in all this politics. I go there and I try to stay away from it, but sometimes people say stupid things and you gotta respond. And it makes me feel so much better because I am an emotional political idiot. Anyway, I was reading some remarks. As you know, Twitter is going to be purchased by Elon Musk, okay? So he's in the process of doing the final closing, and it should close, this week or next week? Sometime this week. And so it was so funny because he walked into Twitter yesterday. He went to the Twitter corporate offices, and he walked in with a sink. And the message was, and I think this is brilliant, let this sink in. I'm buying this company. So what happened is that some of the employees are kind of snarky, okay? They are these kind of individuals who think that they are deserving of something. I'm not quite sure what they think, but they don't think very smart. So one employee by the name of Stephanie puts out a tweet that says, "Hey, Elon Musk, thanks for visiting Twitter SF. Hope you enjoyed your coffee at the Perch. Just one question. Was it fun to look at the faces of the people you said you'd be laying off?" I'm sorry, but if somebody put a tweet out like that, I can pretty much tell what kind of an employee that person's going to be. Listen, we're going to go through a lot of mergers and acquisitions in 2023. And the reason why is because the economy is in a recessionary mode. So when that happens, you see a lot of companies merging because they need to stay strong. And we're going to see more of it. And one of the things that happens when a merger or an acquisition takes place is that the buying company goes in, and yes, people have to leave because there's duplication in work. There's people that should not be there anymore. Sometimes they ask them to retire early. They're trying to reduce the number one cost on an income statement, and that is wages and salaries, because that's the top. Those people are getting paid a lot of money, but are they being productive? And so the new company goes in and looks at these people, making sure that if they should keep them or not keep them. In fact, sometimes we used to always call it. Let me tell you this one story. One time I was working at this company as a consultant at NCR, and all of a sudden they called all the employees into the break room. This was in San Jose, many years ago. Probably 40 years ago now. And I said, "Where is everybody going?" Because I wasn't an employee, so I didn't have to go. But they called everybody in, and you know what happened is that the chairman of the board came in, brought everybody into the lunchroom, and by the end of his conversation with them, 50% of the workforce was gone. They had just taken on this new company, they had just bought this new company out, and they had to make some changes. And that's what they did, 50%. And I saw people walking out with boxes. But that happens. When you have a merger and acquisition, you look at what is the most costly item on your income statement, and you say, okay, now I'm going to have to make some adjustments here because I have another company who's doing the exact same thing. So, listen, Twitter people, stop acting like children. I responded to her. Let me tell you what my response was. I said back, and this, I might have been snarky too, okay, I'll admit it, but I responded back and I said, "Hey, grow up. This is a business, not a play zone. When new owners take over, changes are made. The first change is in personnel, the highest expense item on a financial sheet. If you want to act like a child, you probably shouldn't have that job. And I really meant that, because if she didn't think of the company first, and now she's taking all of her emotions and saying, oh, the poor employees. Well, in mergers and acquisitions, this is what happens. This is business. Because that business has got to survive. That business has got to get stronger. And listen, Twitter has to survive. If it wants to survive, it can't be playing all these little feely games. You just can't do it. You've got to go in and make changes. And it could be changes in confidentiality. It could be changes in HR. It could be changes in pay structures. It could be changes in retirement. It could be a whole bunch of different changes. Because that company has now got to realize, okay, I've taken on a mammoth company where things have gone way too far. And at Twitter, things went way too far. They were no longer operating the company as a business. They were operating their business as a social, a political type of organization, where they were shutting down speech, and they were shutting down all of these people that were trying to say something of how they believed. But the poor little children inside Twitter said, no, we don't like that. That's so hurtful. They became wimps. They became woke wimps, the WW. So listen, if you don't think that this isn't going to happen again and again and again, it's going to, because that's business. And when a new business takes over another business, you have to make sure that the message is there that we are trying to improve the company. We're not trying to improve you as an individual. We're trying to improve the company, because we've got investors and we have got bankers and we've got all these other people who are now looking down on our shoulders saying, how are you going to improve this company to make it very profitable? And I have every confidence Elon Musk will do that. I don't know why I always would call him Ellen. I forget the O one on the end. Elon Musk will do that. He will turn that company around. And he has really talented people that can do that for him. Listen, I have been the hatchet man. I have been the guy that came in and had to explain to what was going on in that company. I have had to go worldwide on trips explaining what was going to happen. I have been there. I've been the hatchet man. I have been in situations where another company is taking over another company. I was involved in a merger and acquisition. In fact, I still have the tombstone on my desk here, where the smaller company was taking over the larger company. Now, if you don't think that the people in the larger company had some stuff to say, they did. And a lot of them were so angry that some of them quit, which is another good thing about a merger and acquisition. The weak always leave. And the individuals who really want to do something and are strong, they're the ones that stay. And they're the ones that make the company better. Because I've seen everything that has happened prior to the new merger and acquisition. I love that one part of the fact is that people are so emotional that they forget about that they're at a business. They're not at house. They're not at their house. They're not out in the playground. They're not anywhere except in a business where business is the full focus. And so what happens is these people get scared. They get emotionally frazzled, or whatever you want to call it. And they say, we can't take this. We were the bigger company. And the little tiny companies taking over us? Well, it's good because some of them did leave, and they resigned, and they left that very day that we were taking over. And what it did is it opened up new spots for really talented people down below. So Tesla, you might think that you're going to leave once Elon Musk takes over. That's okay. Go ahead, leave. Because your position can be filled again with a very talented individual. And there's so many talented people out there that do exactly what you do. So before you open up your mouth and you go on to Twitter and make snarly remarks, think before you do it. Because you might be missing out on a huge opportunity with Twitter. Your whole life may change because of this new owner. You may have new possibilities in your work and in your supervisory skills, your management leadership skills. You might have a totally different way of doing business. Open that up, because change is good. Change is a positive thing. It shakes things up. It makes people begin to think. And if you're going to act snarly like this, like who's the lady's name? Oh, her name is Stephanie. If you're going to act snarly like Stephanie, stay away from those kind of individuals, because they're the ones that are going to take you down. Don't get involved in those types of snarky type individuals, because it's worthless. It's a worthless venture to get into. What you should be doing right now is saying, okay, I have a new owner. I have to shine. I have to show this new owner what I can do for the company. It's not what you can do for yourself at the moment. It's what you can do for the company. Change your attitude. Become an adult. Don't be this childish, little snarky type individual who's going to sit there and whine and moan and groan. Enough of that. Because now you got to focus on business. You have got to work with the new management of turning that company around. Because let's face it, Twitter, you haven't done a very good job. You haven't done a good job. Profits are down. Your stocks are down. I hear it went up a little bit yesterday. But listen, you have got to start thinking better. Mergers and acquisitions are going to start happening because companies have got to join together and become strong. We just saw it with the supermarket chain where they had to do it. They had to join together so that they could have a bigger market share and they could do their work more efficiently and more profitably. So it's going to happen even to you guys out there in other companies. Expect mergers and acquisitions to affect your life. It's going to. But you have got to think, how am I going to help this merger and acquisition? How am I going to survive? That's all that you have to worry about. If people shine, you will be noticed and you will go up that ladder. Remember, it's all about going up the corporate ladder. Well, don't cut off a whole bunch of steps to that ladder by saying snarky stuff. Be an adult. Grow up. You're running a business. You're doing a job. And what you do for that company either enhances it or it tears it down. I think we have lost the spirit of team spirit. They've gotten so emotionally involved in social politics that we have forgotten that we're at a business and we're doing business. So this is what our mindset has got to change. You've got to change it. Listen, this is Mike Lodge. If you want to have more access to me, go to my website at www.lodge-co.com. Again, that's www.lodge-co.com. If you want to set up a 30-minute free consultation, it's available for you. Let's focus on business, okay? Because 2023 is going to be a tough year. We're going to see a lot of companies fail, and we're going to see a lot of companies merge. Let's focus, guys. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor. Talk with you soon. Bye-bye.